All right, this will this review will be in the middle of my page. If you got to look, CC Algebra 1 is us. Pound Core. I'll log on tonight when I get home. The problem tonight is I won't be home for late because of the basketball. I offer this all the time and very rarely get information back from people that have questions, but I can show you on my phone. Here I can send it, and I may do that later on. Where I get something from somebody that took advantage of this last year. I was at the All-County banquet the other night. Boom, took a picture of a problem, sent it to me, I solved it, sent it right back. Took 35 seconds to help with on a final exam. You got full access to me at all times. Use that email address. Hey, I'll be here before and after school. Make sure you just send me a note if you want me to come before school. I'll stay here after school as long as you need me to, but if nobody shows up, then 20 or 30 minutes afterwards, I'll leave. Make sure you do finish any quiz scores that you have, and then there's plenty of routine work on the USA test prep. Again, guys, all this information is of no value unless you take advantage of it, because you have to take advantage of it before it's helpful. Okay, the first thing that I would like to look at here is, we talked about those the other day, is start right here with the X and Y intercepts. This is number 15. You guys that won't get this worked out, there's chances are that you haven't done the USA test prep yet. You gotta have some kind. There's the last grade that we had was a quiz grade that I'll have for what you did on the review, and I'll get that from USA test prep or this. Okay, again, this is probably the single most important question that I've asked you all semester long. Because everything else that we do, guys, they pretty much go over it at one time or another. But it's find the X and Y intercepts. How do you go about finding the X intercepts? Solve for what? That's right, solve for X. Guys, an X intercept is a point where a line crosses the x-axis. A lot of times, that's referred to as A0. So if you're asked to find the y-intercept, it's any line that's on the y-axis. If I'm on the y-axis, x is 0 and y is b. And so that's what you do. It's simply of a matter of you writing 2x equals 12 or 6y equals 12. And going through and doing that all the way through a problem. So 5x equals 15 gives me x equals 3. That y equals 0, guys, is what makes that point my x-intercept. Anybody? Okay, here, x equals 6. That's the x-intercept. Y equals 2. X would be 0. Y would be 2. This 6, 0, or 0, 2 is called the x and the y intercepts. That's the point where they cross the x and y axis. Again, look, I take this equation right here. And I have 5x equals 15 for the x-intercept, and negative 3y equals 15. Y is negative 5 for the y-intercept. No reason that you're not going to miss, that you should miss this. As if y'all walked in the door and sat down right now and I said, look at this equation right here and tell me what the y-intercept is, nobody would miss it. Because y'all know this equation is in slope-intercept form. So y'all know that 3 is the slope and 9 is the y-intercept. What's the x-intercept? Coach, I don't know how to find it. Again, to find the x-intercept, look right here, find the x-intercept, make y 0. When I take this equation right here and I make y 0, guys, that's not the math. Making y 0 is just plugging a 0 in for y. The math is you solving this equation right here. So x equals negative 3. So negative 3, 0 is the x-intercept. 0, 9 is the y-intercept. Again, guys, it's a huge, important question because it's going to be in every class, guys, from our class to the hardest chemistry or the hardest calculus class in the school today. Today, I can almost guarantee you they are still finding the x-intercept. So x equals 3/9, which is 1/3, or negative 6y equals 3, and y is negative 1/2. 3/6 is negative 1/2. Guys, they're doing the same thing in their hard class. The only thing that's different is their equation is a whole lot messier. Our equations aren't that bad. Our equations are just linear equations. Guys, 10 minutes ago, there was an Algebra II class in this room right here. We have a quiz star that's finding the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. The only thing is, instead of being like linear equations like you guys got here, they're quadratic equations, or they're quartic equations, which means they say x to the fourth, a cubic equation, x to the cube, or x cubed, not to the cube, x cubed, x to the seventh, something like that. Guys, the question's not going away. To find the y-intercept, you make x 0. 2 times 0 is 0, so that leaves me with 0, negative 8. That's called the y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, I put a 0 in for y. When I solve that equation, I get 2x equals 8. What's next? Divide by 2, and x equals 4. So 4, 0. Go. This is a point, and that's a point. You call the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Could you find the slope that way? Could you find the slope now? If I had 2 points, 0, negative 8, and 4, 0, would you know how to find the slope of a line that goes through 2 points? You use that. That's right. You use that formula. So you do 0 minus negative 8, which is 8. 4 minus 0, so 8 over 4. 8 over 4 is 2. If you look, you see, look, the slope is 2. That's not a coincidence. Yeah. Is 4 supposed to be negative? No, because when I move this 8 to the other side, I added 8. See, a driver leaves his home and drives to a friend's house. They play video games for 3 hours, and he drives back home for dinner. So a driver leaves home, drives to his friend's house. What's going to happen for 3 hours? Stay the same. Then what's he going to do? Drive back home. I guess this is the distance from his house. Kind of what they're trying to show us. It's the distance from his house. And he stayed there, so that stayed constant. And he drove back home, and so the distance to his house started getting smaller. Time versus distance from his house. So as time was going this way, what was happening to the distance from his house? It was getting bigger. Then it reached a point where he stayed for 3 hours. Solve x over 20 minus 3 over 10. Looks like I got fractions. I don't like fractions. Multiply by the common denominator, which is 20. So x minus 10 goes into 22 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 10 goes into 22 times. 2 times 9 is 18. So x is 24. Any problem? I want to solve one of these, and then 3 of these, and then we'll go work on our lab. Okay. Give me some notes real quick. Give me some reminders here for graphing inequalities. Okay. Greater than, equal to. What kind of line? Which is it? Solid or dotted? Solid. Yeah. It's solid line. The reason it's solid is because it says equals to. I mean, that's a solid line. As we were going through this, guys, when we did inequalities, we also reviewed interval notation. Remember, this would be a solid line. It would be a bracket if you were doing interval notation. or it would be a closed circle if you were doing a number line. So all of that stuff applies to this equation right here. What am I doing to it? Solving for y. What's that? What form is that called again? Yeah. Negative 2/3 x plus 4. Okay. If greater than or equal to is solid, remember less than or greater than is dotted. And then you have to shade above or below the line. Okay. Negative 2/3 x plus 4 up to, remember, slope goes this direction when it's negative. So that's y is greater than. Where are the numbers greater than negative 2/3 x plus 4? Above it or below it? Greater than is above. Greater than is above. See right there. If you took the number 0, 0, plug it in here, 0, 0 is not greater than 12. I have to pick a number above that line. Maybe 10, 10. Watch, if I took 10 plus 20 plus 30 is 50. 50 is greater than or equal to 12. So all of those points in this shaded area, all these points, guys, would be what would make that equation right there true. All right, let's get a place here. I want to work 3 of these and leave 3 of them for my other period. For my next period, guys, I want to save some of these for them. But before I do that, let's review something real quick. Remember, there's 2 types of systems. There's a consistent system, and there's a inconsistent system. What's inconsistent mean? No solutions. No solution. So no solution. Okay. Why would a system not have solutions? They don't cross. Why would 2 lines not cross? They have the same slope, which means they're what?
Parallel.
Parallel. Parallel lines don't have a solution. Look, guys, when we're solving a system up here, we're looking for that independent system. We're looking for that line that has different slopes. Because if it has different slopes, it means the lines cross. If they don't cross, it's because they have the same slope and different y-intercepts, which means it's an inconsistent system. Or it could be a dependent system, which would be infinitely many solutions. And that happens when you have the same slope, same y-intercept, same line. 6x plus y equals 37, 4x plus 2y equals 18. This says classify and use all 3 methods. What would I solve this one by if I were going to graph it? Solve for y. I could solve by substitution, but to me, I'm going to solve this by the quickest way that I see. And to me, the quickest way that I see would be to take this equation right here and multiply everything by 2. So if I multiplied that by 2, that would give me negative 12x minus 2y equals negative 74. Okay. Negative 8x equals 74 minus 18. 56. Negative 56. So I believe that x is 7. Okay. So when I take 7 and put it in, that gives me 42. 42 minus 5 should work both problems. Guys, that's the biggest thing that I need to get you to understand. I really don't like taking these videos here and doing this, but I'm going to stop this and show you something else in my Algebra 2 class. Because this is Algebra 2, and again, we worked this last period. Look right here, where we're working on Algebra 2. I'm trying to show you that we're answering the same questions you are. The same exact question. Look, consistent, inconsistent. This is not necessarily something I like. That independent right there for inconsistent. Consistent and dependent. The lines are on top of each other. They're parallel, or they have different slopes. Because that's from Algebra 2 right there. That's 2 years from now for you guys. And you're still working on doing uh, that same exact kind of question, is that you're trying to figure out where what a solution to a system is, means where does that thing cross? It's still a great question. Solve a system. You can do elimination, you can do graphing, you can do substitution. To me, I might take this one and do x equals negative 2y plus 1. So if I take that negative 2y plus 1 and put it up there, I get 20 times negative 2y plus 1 minus 30y equals negative 50. Guys, let's say you were taking a multiple choice test right now, and you have the answers. What do you know the answer to a system, a independent system in the ABCD? Which one's going to be right? The one that does what? It solves both equations. Guys, you can accidentally forget how to do this, but go, look, 7 negative 5 is 42 minus 5 is 37, or 28 minus 10 is 18. This point solves both equations. So whatever you get as your answer, remember your answer, negative 40y plus 20 minus 30y equals negative 50. Move that over. So negative 70y equals negative 70. Y is 1. Well, I believe this answer is 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. I believe that if you plugged in negative 1 and 1, it would solve both equations. And if you try it out, it does. Let me leave that word problem for them. Is there one of these in particular, 23, 24? The thing I'll go ahead and do 20. Because the thing that I would remind you about with 20 is that in number 20, in number 20, you have to get them in the same form. See how they're not in the same form? First thing you would have to do is move this 3y back over here. So negative 5x plus 3y equals 3. Guys, I can't add them together like they are right now. I have to have 4x, move it to the other side, plus 3y equals 30. And so now I want to take the opposite of these. To be honest with you, the one that I would take the opposite of is that one. And the reason I did that one is so I ended up with 5x plus 4x is 9x equals 27. So x is 3. Take the 3, plug it back in. 12, 4 times 3 is 12, equals negative 3y plus 30. Negative 18 equals negative 3y. Y is 6. So 3, 6 is my solution. Again, guys, don't just write 3, 6 down. See if 15 plus 18, negative 15 plus 18 is 3, and then 12 equals negative 18 plus 30. It works both problems. Okay. Again, let me show you something here. On my web page, right here in the middle, there's some good questions of the day. Ooh, good one. Semi-mathematical studies, you can tell me something about it. Exponential. It's good that I like either one of those. Guys, if you look at it, it says to obtain the sequence. We haven't talked about sequences, but anyway, you can see that this must be some kind of fraction right there. It's exponential decay. Remember, when that number is a fraction, it goes this direction. If it was a whole number, if it was y equals 3 to the x, then it would go in this direction. It says, what is the domain? Remember the domain of the numbers that you plug into an equation? So the domain should be, just looking at it, it looks like it would be all real numbers here. So in our picture, it would be this. To apply what domain should be applied, the domain of the numbers that you plug into an equation. So I'm not real comfortable with any of those, but that's the question of the day. And there's several of these, guys. If you go back, you can find other ones. It'll give you other days in there. And then that's on USA Test Prep. That's what those are for. All right, C 135. Let's go.